Selling boats faster.
Hello, I'm Suzanne from Boatshed Kent. We're going to have a look at the exterior of this Westerly Konsort. This vessel does appear to have been maintained very well. We're going to start off here in the cockpit. I'm very impressed by the deep coamings and how large the actual cockpit is. The gel coat looks very nice indeed as well. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. Obviously there's a manual bilge pump there, and we have got a couple of we've got a cockpit locker, which you'll see from the still photographs is nice and deep. We've got our winches. This is a 2-speed jib winch, and here we are. I think we've got a Lumar 30. Yep, and they are both repeated on the port side as well. Got our gas locker here, obviously the tiller, which you'll see from the still shots. Here's our main sheet traveller, and you can see the rudder, and you can see the swim ladder too. Also got this sturdy piece of apparatus for the radar. Looking forward, some of the cockpit instruments. The owner doesn't leave them out all the time on show, but certain ones are fixed obviously. So here we have our contest compass and our Raymarine water helm. It is a Raymarine ST 6002. That one. Right. Moving forward, spray hood looks to be in exceptionally good nick. Here we can see our side decks and our setup for the running rigging. I must say this vessel is really beautifully turned out for me to photograph, and I think if somebody comes and has a look at her, you'll find she's very clean and tidy. The owner, I know, has spent a lot of money on this vessel over the years, absolutely fell in love with her when they first got her, and have spent lots of money on her. Moving forward, I see the windlass and deck gear. Here we have our furling gear. Push pit, pull pit, and all the steel work feels nice and solid. And you can see that we're dealing with an owner here who's a very neat and methodical guy in the way he looks after and uses his vessel. Here we are at the master base, a few deck plugs there. As we have a look up, you can see spinnaker pole and the spreader, and sail cover looks in very good nick too. halyards look nice and clean on the whole. Really is a pleasure to see a vessel that's looked after this well. Hand grips along the coach roof and the tow rails as well. Everything designed to be sturdy and with your safety in mind. Hello, I'm Suzanne MacDonald from Boatshed, Kent. Today we're having a look at this really nice Westerly Konsort. Current owner's had her for about 8 years and has certainly really looked after this vessel by the looks of things, from annual engine maintenance, out of the water every year, and headlinings have been attended to. The vessel itself, the brightwork is absolutely gorgeous, and you know, I couldn't ask for more in terms of presentation, and I would argue that she's probably one of the best, if not the best, Westerly Konsort that I've actually had the pleasure of taking onto the books. So let's walk inside and appreciate the space that we've got here. For the length of boat, I actually think you know, the interior design's really good, with your galley tucked on the starboard side, and then you've got a really nice saloon area. So if you like relaxing in the evening or having friends over and entertaining, there's plenty of space. You'll see from the still shots we've got a lovely table here, and obviously leaves open up on both sides. So let's start on the starboard side here. We've got a galley, which is practical, some work surface here which conceals the sink and cool box there. As you can see, there's electric points, storage for your cups, etc., and more storage here below. Got a 2-burner gimbaled stove with grill and oven, which is a very nice thing to have, and sliding cupboards behind which open up, again, more storage space. If you have a look up here, you'll notice how good the windows look. Current owner has renewed these, so you'll see from the still shots how nice they all are. There's no crazing, and they're very, very nicely finished too. If we have a look at the main saloon area, the upholstery looks to be in very, very good condition, and the cushions themselves are very comfortable. You'll see from the still shots a very nice shade of blue. Video here I think is making them look slightly brighter, but they really show no signs of wear and tear and are very, very comfortable indeed to sit on. What I particularly like about this arrangement here is that the owner has elected not to have all the sides enclosed, so it really does give the feeling of a very, very spacious interior. Got more electric plugs here, and you can see the lights, hand grip, and again, all the linings in this area are absolutely gorgeous and have been renewed. And as we look back at the companionway, you see again lovely linings throughout. The brightwork itself is also really, really nice. You can see the current owner has really looked after the whole vessel well. It's got a beautiful lustre about it, which gives a feeling of warmth and quality. So all in all, I think this vessel, if you're into the Westerly brand, or if you're wanting a nice boat for a couple or a family, you should come and have a look at this vessel, because she really does appear to be ready to go. Current owner has invested lots of time and undoubtedly money in getting her to this standard and maintaining her at this level. Now let's walk forwards to the forward berth, the main cabin. If we look to the starboard side, this is traditionally a hanging locker, a wet locker. Each owner generally has this set up to their own requirements, but it's a jolly good storage space. As you can see, the linings on the roof look lovely. The current owner has spent a lot of time on this vessel, making her into a very, very neat and tidy boat indeed. Now we're having a look at the heads, which is on the port side. There is a drain here. If somebody wanted to install a shower, they could do. The current owner has opted not to put a shower in here. He doesn't have a need for it. It's also got a rather nice wooden door here that presumably you'd want to protect if you were going to install a shower. There's a couple of hanging pegs there. We've got the sea toilet here, and as you'll see from the still shots, there is a wash hand basin which basically pulls out here into the sleeping area. Lovely double berth here. This can be arranged as either a twin or a double. You can see again, it's a nice tidy area. Lots of storage space underneath the berths, and there's storage area on either side as well. And up forwards we've got the chain locker too. Now we're going to have a look at the engine on this Westerly Konsort. The owner has kindly come down while I'm taking the boat on the market. He's mollycoddled this engine over the last 8 years, and he's going to let you all know a little bit about the servicing of this engine.
Okay, now this is a DV20 engine fitted standard to the Westerlies. She's been stripped down top half from top to bottom and mended and adjusted and put back together again. The air filter on the right hand side is not a cassette element, it's purely just a simple air filter and needs no maintenance whatsoever. Behind that is the if we can just get it into the focus, is the filter for the fuel, and further back, which is in darkness I'm afraid, is another filter which takes the water out from the fuel tank itself. Now, assuming of course there is any, which I've never found. On the left hand side is the oil filter. If we can just go down, I'll try and get it in focus. The little white thing at the back, that's the oil filter, and that's just literally unscrews. It's a cassette, and is a very simple operation. The unit which I can just point at here is the gland greasing unit for the propeller, so that when the propeller turns, that puts grease into the stuffing box and stops the leakage of seawater into the boat. And that has, again, the gland has been restuffed very recently. The alternator here has been replaced over the last few years because obviously the take on this boat has gone up in terms of electricity, and it needed to be upgraded. Down at the bottom on the right hand side is the manual fuel pump, which you depress to repressurize the fuel system when you've changed the filter. The flywheel on the front, of course, very important. There's a flywheel, keeps the engine running, so that if there's any issues relating to anything that might happen in the engine, there's a lot of potential there already in the engine to keep it turning. I think that's it basically.
Thank you very much.